Yeah, aloha. I'm back. I'm just popping in for a little vid. I wanted to tell you something very important about you. Yes, you and me, actually, and everyone, is we all have a superpower. Now, everybody does have superpowers. Everyone has this one without discrimination, not a soul left out. This superpower is everyone's, which doesn't make it less special, it actually makes it more special. So this superpower is, come a little closer, should you wish to hear. This superpower is your focus. I'm going to expand on that by telling you a little analogy. I love analogies. It always helps me to make sense of things. So I'm going to give you this analogy on your superpower, which is your focus. It's like, which is the superhero that actually has the laser eyes? I think this superpower is similar to that. And you know the really awesome thing about clothes or whatever else? Okay, so this analogy is, so this might help you understand how it works, this super focus. So imagine you're in the garden, it's a sunny day, and you have a magnifying glass. If you just kind of, you can really look at stuff through your focus, right? You can go to different things. You can see some ants, you can see a snail, you could look at the veins in a leaf on a tree, you could look at the blades of grass. But what the amazing thing is, when you actually line said magnifying glass up with the sun, and then you can then at that point, you've got the sun coming through it, but you might be waving it all around, right? You're kind of looking here, looking there, everything gets a little bit of light, and then you move on to the next thing. But if you actually line your magnifying glass up with the sun, and you focus on one particular thing, please don't make an ant, nor like a tree or a plant. Maybe, you're actually experimenting and you've got a little pile of dead branches and kindling, right? Then you just happen to have that, and you've piled it there, and you've gone, right, I'm going to focus on that. And I'm going to ignite that particular thing that I've placed there, that I'm putting my magnifier attention on, my focus, my magnifying glass, and I line it up with the sun, which in my analogy we could say is source energy, the universe, your higher self. So I've now aligned my focus with the sun, which has actually helped me to direct where I want to focus my magnifying glass, and I'm holding it there. I'm keeping my focus, my attention, my magnifying glass on that particular thing. And as I'm doing so, after a certain amount of time and focus and energy and looking at and keeping it in that one place, with it lined up with the sun, with source energy, something starts to happen. It starts getting smoke coming off it, and you start seeing it burning a little bit. There's embers, you see it building, and then you've left it there long enough, pooh, it just combusts, and there's fire. You've turned what you were focusing on, you've combusted it, and it's blown up into this big beautiful fire. And then, because you're still focusing on it, you're adding more fuel to the fire, and then it becomes a lovely warming fire, or a fabulous bonfire. Don't let it get out of hand though. Keep it maintainable, I guess, to a certain extent. So if you can see where I'm getting at, this is how it works also in our reality. Like if we can get ourselves like aligned with especially our higher self, and a lot of that comes through meditation, or I'm kind of shying away from the word meditation because there's so many expectations and there's a lot attached to it that I'm not really attached to. So I'm leaning more towards saying like my quiet time, my stillness, the time that I just allow. And when I do that and I get the inspiration from the sun, from the source that plants the seed in me, and then I do actually see it, I'm aware of it, I'm conscious of it, and then I start focusing on it. And then for long enough, because often what happens is we've been in a way trained to have short attention spans and to fill our mind with pointless information and trivia to a point where there's actually no space for the inspiration to come in from our higher selves. So when I do so, I notice there is a massive difference, and also that momentum of keep fueling the fire, keep putting into it. Don't just allow it to combust and go, oh, that's it now, that's all I have to do. Because life is in motion. We always need to keep this energy moving and flowing. And it could also be that that particular bonfire shoots out to other little fires that you then also tend to. And all of this is in the name of creation. I know we need to be careful, if I'm using the analogy of fire, of not burning other people within our desires and our wants and what we want to create. Like, let's create warming, lovely food fires, cooking fires, places people can come to be warm, but let's be careful not to create things as it has been done in our history that actually blows up so much it actually does hurt people and it does burn people. That is really important to know, because in our life too, and I've noticed, because I don't actually watch TV, but my children do, and my youngest has been watching YouTube shorts, so I'm kind of really onto telling him and not just telling him though, but teaching him to have discernment in what he watches, and if it has a certain energy, if it's scary, if it's angry, if it's something making him not feel too good, to maybe think of choosing something else, because I want him to learn to choose on his own without me just telling him. I've noticed shorts, but they've also got a split screen, so there's two absolutely separate things going on. And when I saw it, I thought, this is actually really bad for our superpower. What it's doing is untraining us to focus. So you've now got two things going on. Your mind doesn't know which one to focus on. They're totally separate. There's no correlation. They're completely different interests, different items, different subjects, different contexts. And I think it causes a split mind. And I think at the very least, and I think there's a lot more to it, it does not nurture our focus and our superpower. So I don't know, this is just me, again, working it out. This is the way my mind has interpreted it. And I actually think it's really bad for society, and it's really bad for us, because we're not going to be able to utilize our superpower. There's no point wearing a cape or undies over our clothes, because we're not going to be able to be superheroes that go out in the world and create beautiful things to share with everybody else. Because I feel like we are either creating or destroying, really. And there is obviously in between stuff, but what are we doing? What are we doing here, people? But I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to say, please know that you are a superhero and you have superpowers. This is one of them. There's many, many more. as I think of them and I'm inspired, I'll just pop in and just say a few words, see what happens, see what my mouth says. And also I would love to know what you have to say and what your thoughts are on what our superpowers are, and also if you know of your superpowers, what are you using them for? Are you using them for good or evil? Because there is good and evil, light and dark, good and bad in our world. So let's kind of traverse this lovely little adventure together, because it's much more fun going on an adventure with other people, I feel. So I think that's why I'm here. As I've said, am compelled to come and say stuff, so I'm just going to follow that and see where it takes me. And if you would like to come along with me and we can have a wonderful journey together, please feel welcome and tell me what you think in the comments in a lovely way. I'm really only open to positive, constructive, let's grow together conversation, because I am no longer opening my energy and my space and my energetic realm on any level, any dimensional version of my life's experience to the dark side, to the negative side. I have closed those doors, and as I'm learning with intention and consciousness and the right belief systems, we can actually do that, and we can create our own private universe within universes in this multi-dimensional universe we live in, which is all overlaid over each other's, because we are all part of the one energy, all part of the one source, all part of the one, the great I am, our divine spirit. So I will say ciao for now, and I'll be back with something else at some point. I am feeling this momentum, so I'm just going to go with it, and I'm sure I'll end up speaking a bit better. I know I'm not really flowing because I'm just getting used to the fact that I'm talking at a camera and maybe someone's there. I've seen a few views on my videos, so obviously someone's there. And I just want to let you know that I appreciate you, because when I do see a few views, I go, oh, somebody's coming for a ride with me. How awesome. Okay, so much love. I'll stop rambling and I will be back again soon. Have a beautiful day, evening, arvo, wherever you are. And yeah, let's kind of work this out together.